Hi everybody and welcome back to Jaffa Cooks, and today I'm going to show you how to make a super fine thin bread called lavash. A common bread that's used around a lot of Turkey restaurants. You can use it with the kebabs, pop it up with hummus, even durum, and in your doner kebabs as well. So it's a very versatile bread, very fine, made out of white flour, and it doesn't take long to make at all. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and then towards the end I'll show you what they look like when they're stacked up. Alright, so before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click on the bell icon, get the latest updates, find out what I'm up to. Share it with your family and friends, and give me a thumbs up if it turns out well for you. Okay, alright, so here we go. I've got some flour, olive oil, salt, and some warm water. That's it. 4 items and a mixer, obviously. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to open up my Kenwood. Always, somebody asked me actually, should I use my guard when I'm using my Kenwood? And yes, try and be as safe as possible. Although they are not industrial machines, but they can be dangerous, so please do use your guard. And it also is like a splash prevention as well. So please do be very careful when using machines. Okay, so in goes the flour. I'm going to pop in all the salt, and then I'm going to give it a mix. Okay, once your flour and salt are mixed in, pour in all the olive oil and half of your water. So I'm just going to pour in half of my water. Hang on. If some of your dough is actually around the sides, do use a spatula to move it around and release it from the edges. Okay, keep going. Okay, so welcome back. I haven't finished, but I wanted to take a moment just to have a quick chat with you. At this moment, I've slowly poured in all the water, and if I look at my dough, it looks a bit like a mixture of flour and water, and it's not complete. So what we're going to do is, this is the time when you actually start picking up speed on the dough, to really start beating it and start kneading it with speed. So eventually we'll have a nice, smooth, white dough, and that's basically how we need to get to make the lavash bread. Okay, all right. So I'm going to mix this for another good 5-6 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you what the end result looks like. Okay, welcome back. So that kneading took around about 6 minutes on medium speed, and I just wanted to show you what the dough looks like. Okay, welcome back everyone. I've cleaned up. My dough's looking pretty good, but it still needs a bit of TLC. When we make dough, the gluten still hasn't been released, so it's still a bit stringy. And if we start rolling out at this point, we'll be forever rolling it and it will shrink, rolling it and shrink. So what we want to do is just give it that little bit of TLC. So whilst we're giving it a good kneading, you'll see that it starts softening up a bit more than it was when you started off in the beginning. And that's that TLC that you're putting into it. And you only need to do it for 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, after 5 minutes of kneading, it's a good time to stop. My dough's had a good kneading. What we want to do now is just so I'm going to take the same bowl, pop some olive oil in it, and then take a damp cloth and just leave it on the side for about 40 minutes. And then I'll come back and show you what it should look like and how we're going to basically take from dough to super fine lavash bread. I'll see you shortly, in about 40 minutes. Hi everybody and welcome back. So my dough's been resting for about half an hour, and it's time to make lavash. So I'm going to remove my dough. Oh yeah, It's a lot softer now this time. It's had time to rest. So what I'm going to do now is I need to make 15 lavash out of this. So to get 15, I'm just going to divide it into 3, and I'll see if I can get. Okay, so that's my 3. Okay, so I'm going to divide these into preferably 5 lots of dough balls each. Not very good at yep, and I think we're good. All right, so basically what we want to do is just create a round dough ball. That's it. And then at the bottom, either tuck it in or just seal it. That's it. And I've got my damp cloth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay my damp cloth over the top so each dough ball doesn't dry up. Okay, well, let me get to it and I'll come back to you once my dough balls are ready. Okay, welcome back everybody. My dough balls are done. Just to give you a quick look. All right, brilliant, excellent. Keep them covered. They need to be kept damp so they don't dry up, and otherwise they'll start cracking. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allow them to rest for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to roll them out. And I've got the tawa, pan on the back, and we'll start cooking them off. I'll see you in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, so welcome back. My dough's again rested for 10 odd minutes, and I'm just going to roll these lavash bread dough balls out. So a little bit of flour. And we want to just flatten this out. And whilst you're flatten them out, it's basically just after that, roll them out as finely or thinly as possible. Okay, so here we go. 1. And then literally fold them, turn them up, backwards and forwards. Turn them over again, and that's basically, you're going to have to carry on doing that until they get to around about 8 inches. Right, so just to show you how thin the bread should be, I'm just going to finish off this one and just to show you. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly round. That's basically how thin it should be. So you can literally see my hand through it. Okay? All right, so I'm just going to give it another roll out, and it's ready. Now, what I would like you to do, I'm going to make this one, so I'm going to come around the side to the hob, and then watch me cook this off, and then you'll know how far to go to ensure that it's ready. Don't want it brown, or we want it cooked, okay? Come over to the hob. So I'm just going to gently just place it on there, and you'll see that in a couple of minutes, well, within a couple of seconds actually, you'll see bubbles will start forming where you can see parts of it already cooking. So I'm just going to now quick check. Yep, it's done. So it should just have the odd little bit of brownness. Okay, areas that are not fully cooked, do push down on them, and that will basically allow them to then absorb more heat. A couple of bits here. That's it, we're done. Now I'm going to make the rest of them, and I'll see you back once I'm ready to show you what the stack looks like.